Very slow formation lap like this, as Arnold Schwarzenegger looks on, helps reduce those tyre pressures. We've got a car stopped in the middle of the grid.
Very much out of place.
Toro Rosso colour, is that?
No, it looks like a Red Bull. That could be Danny Kvyat that's stopped on the grid. It is Danny Kvyat that has stopped on the grid and very much out of position. Now, what happens here? We can't let the race go off with that car stranded where it is. Are we going to get an aborted start, I wonder, and another formation lap?
I'm expecting the lights to flash yellow and then send them round again. They need to get on with it quickly because they'll be getting pretty toasty down there by now, the engines. No fans on these, of course, no cooling fans. They're only cooled by moving through the air, a bit like a shark has to keep swimming through the water to stay alive. These cars have to keep moving. And away they go again then, as they'll clear. Now, Kvyat has to go into the pit lane as the cause of the false start, has to go into the pit lane. And if they can restart it, he is able to join the race from there. He's obliged to put it in neutral, open the clutch and put the steering wheel back on so they can move the car. There's a little button on the front that frees the clutch as well. But it suggests to me that Danny Kvyat thinks whatever his problem is, and that's... why is it going that way?
Pretty terminal. They're pushing that to the wrong side of the grid for that car to start again. Danny Kvyat is going to hate coming to Australia next year. Remember last year? His gearbox failed on the lap to the grid, didn't make the start of the race that afternoon. I kind of put money on him not making the start of the race here today as well, as he now has to try and hop over the pit wall and get back into the pit lane again. But I can't see his car going anywhere near him at the moment. There's drivers that have won this race in consecutive years, but there's smoke coming off the Toro Rosso and the Force Indio as we have 5 lights above us. And it's lights out and away we go. It's a great start from Sebastian Vettel, and he is already alongside and ahead of both Mercedes. Nico Rosberg on the inside, Hamilton on the outside. Vettel takes the lead into the first corner. Hamilton's down in fourth, make that fifth as Max Verstappen comes past him, and now he's under pressure from Felipe Massa as well. It's Ferrari 1 and 2 as Hamilton has the Williams for company. Into turn 3 we go. Kimi Raikkonen holds off Nico Rosberg. Verstappen then follows them, and Valtteri Bottas ahead of Hamilton. Then comes Sainz and Daniel Ricciardo and Nico Hülkenberg, and then the McLaren of Fernando Alonso. But what a start for Sebastian Vettel.
Yeah, it's a very smoky Renault. I think it was Magnussen at the back of the field having some kind of problems, but they were the issues we were expecting as Joe Palmer gets pushed wide in turn 7 of getting these cars underway with the single clutch as Hamilton thinks about coming up the inside of Massa and then thinks better of it. There's Joe Palmer then. I think he probably went on the grass coming out of turn 7 because he's fallen quite a way back from where he was.
Yeah, brilliant start from Pascal Wehrlein as well. And Wehrlein...
Okay, understood. Box this lap, box this lap.
Magnussen's coming into the pits. He didn't start here last year. His car failed on the way to the grid. He might not make it to the end of lap 2 this year, as Nico Hülkenberg has got past Daniel Ricciardo, you can see there on the first lap. I said Pascal Wehrlein had a great start. He's up to 15th. Sebastian Vettel, though, leads Kimi Raikkonen as they come round the final corner now. We look through the midfield. Lock up there from Hülkenberg. Alonso holding position. He's now in 10th place, just ahead of Jolyon Palmer, and Alce in front. Is that Romain Grosjean? Into the gravel in the Haas is Esteban Gutierrez into the gravel trap, and his return to Formula 1 after 2 seasons with Sauber with the Haas team now.
The car upside down there, look.
Yes, you're right. Fernando Alonso, and you can see Alonso sat by the barrier and getting himself up, walking very gingerly indeed. We've got a safety car, and that's a massive impact. Fernando Alonso looks a little bit winded and a little bit shocked by that, and shaking hands with Esteban Gutierrez. This is down at turn 3, Martin, in a place you obviously know very well indeed.
If that's at 3, they've gone hugely deep into that gravel trap then, so it suggests to me somebody has had a car failure or something going down into there and made contact at very high speed. That is a pile of carbon fibre, isn't it?
And Fernando Alonso walking away from that accident, and it does look like he has come in at a very, very high speed through there. We saw Gutierrez and the resulting extent of his crash, and look at all the we've got brake boards, polystyrene brake boards, and dirt.
That suggests to me a massive car failure at high speed, and on Alonso's car probably.
Teams taking advantage now of the safety car period to pit. Hulkenberg has pitted. We've seen Valtteri Bottas pitting, Kevin Magnussen pitting. The leading drivers had already pitted, of course. Here comes Alonso. Oh.
Yeah. So it was not a car failure. Oh, that all looks a bit familiar to me, to be honest.
Doesn't it just? And then it dug in twice into the gravel.
So he's gone to switch sides as Gutierrez is slowing down. It's caught him out a little bit. And here he goes. So initially he's looking to the right, switches sides, and Gutierrez has braked much earlier than he expected, or lifted off much earlier than he expected. And up in the air it goes.
And it was just a glancing blow at first, wasn't it? But there's a red flag as well. As we look at these replays, the race has actually now been red flagged whilst they recover that McLaren. They won't get that camera back. But joy of joys to see Fernando Alonso walk away from that, shake hands and embrace Esteban Gutierrez.
That's the trouble with the gravel. It does tend to it is a key problem if you start trapping the drivers in there effectively.
As we see a replay of the incident, and all that debris seems to have been collected. And the stewards will be looking at this after the race. Martin Donnelly, by the way, the race steward for this weekend, and he will be sitting down to look as to whether anyone was at fault for the race or not.
I suspect Gutierrez thought Alonso was going up the inside of him.
Really nasty moment for everybody concerned at McLaren, and who's a fan of Fernando Alonso and is just watching the race here today. But Alonso walking away from that incident, as we can hear from the McLaren Group chairman Ron Dennis, who's with Simon.
With daylight, that's not going to be an issue with the red flag. But actually, they sorted that out pretty quickly, didn't they? What's that?
Into the pits comes Kimi Räikkönen.
Something happened. Broke something.
Okay, understood. Kimi, understood. Pull off where it's safe.
Dave Greenwood is race engineer with a tint of disappointment.
Fire in the airbox, look.
Yeah, there is.
Airbox.
The engine, something has gone with the engine. Ted, you're down there?
Yeah, really nasty smoking. Kimi's just started. There's a little fire coming out of the top of the airbox. Come on, someone get with the extinguisher. Well done, Australian marshals. Good work. Ferrari were very slow with any of their extinguishers. Now they're just pouring extinguishment into the airbox. Kimi Räikkönen, nonchalant as you like. He's not exactly rushing out of that Ferrari, even though there's flame coming above his head. Just steps out. Another disappointing start to the season. Kimi Räikkönen, why does he always get the unreliability in this Ferrari? Oh well, that's it, they're down to one. And I hate to say it, I think Sebastian Vettel's on the wrong team.
Year running, Kimi Räikkönen retires from the Australian Grand Prix and was running in the podium positions. It's actually his third retirement in the last 5 races. We'll put it this way, if he wasn't wearing a crash helmet, he would have had a singed hairstyle at the back of his head there.
Hulkenberg battle as well with the kind of pace. They might not get that far. Oh, we got a spinner.
Is that Max Verstappen?
I think so.
Who has been a bit hot-headed for the last 10 laps or so, maybe 15 laps or so.
Turn 15 it was, penultimate corner.
And all the steam has been coming from out of his ears this time, all the smoke coming from his tyres, and he just overcooked it going into the slowest corner on the track. His teammate locked up, that's what happened.
Hard.
Sainz locked up.
Yeah.
Verstappen hit Sainz.
Yeah, here we go. Oh. That's been sort of coming all afternoon, hasn't it? But Verstappen lost out. Now, will Sainz's left rear tyre have taken a puncture with that? I think he'll know what. But that's the only one we've seen that's been connected with lately.
Yeah, they've left a bit on the track, haven't they? Rosberg's...
Oh, he's gone.
Oh, he's
very
gone.
wide.
Sebastian Vettel has debris down there, and he's gone deep into the corner and has that now ended his challenge. You would think so, unless Hamilton makes a mistake himself. And did you hear the cheers from the crowd as Vettel went wide?
Now, if you're wondering why he's still got DRS when he's so far behind, that's because the detection point is at turn 14, so he'll get it again now. But down to turn 3. He's really struggled a bit in that corner through the weekend, Sebastian Vettel. It's a tricky little corner. I think his eye was taken off with Hamilton coming up so quickly. It also took a bit of aero off his front wing in the wake of Hamilton's car, and he locked up a front wheel.
Sorry, guys.
Gave it everything, and in the end, he's going to have to settle for finishing behind the two Mercedes. Such a shame. You wanted to see Vettel.
Sigue sin poder ir al podio en su país. Ahí está Rosberg, última curva para el subcampeón, el subcampeón del mundo. Recta principal, bandera cuadro, señores, gana Nico Rosberg, el Gran Premio de Australia. Empieza como terminó el año, ganando las 3 últimas carreras, y con esta tiene 4 consecutivas ganadas. Nico Rosberg termina segundo Hamilton y tercero Sebastian Vettel.
Gran carrera, la 15ª victoria para el piloto alemán en su historial. Empezar ganando no es poco una temporada, ¿no? Una temporada